Introduction to ecosystems. Picture the entire Earth like a giant puzzle. Every forest, ocean, desert, and city fits into it. But it's not just places, it's life. Wherever there are living things interacting with their surroundings, we call that an ecosystem. An ecosystem is more than just animals and trees, it's a community of living things. Plants, animals, fungi, even tiny microorganisms, and the non-living things around them like sunlight, water, and air. These parts interact constantly, affecting each in visible and invisible ways. In this video, we'll uncover the two major parts of every ecosystem: biotic factors, everything that's alive, and abiotic factors, everything that isn't. By the end, you'll see how all these pieces work together to keep life on Earth running smoothly. Biotic factors, the living parts. When we talk about biotic factors, we mean everything that is alive. The word biotic comes from bio, meaning life. So these are all the living components of an ecosystem. Let's look at a forest. The tall trees, the squirrels jumping from branch to branch, the mushrooms growing at the base of the tree, even the bacteria in the soil. All of these are biotic. Biotic factors are often grouped into three main categories. Producers, like plants and algae, which make their own food using sunlight through photosynthesis. Consumers, like insects, birds, and humans, which eat plants or other animals to get energy. Decomposers, like fungi and bacteria, which break down dead matter and recycle nutrients back into the soil. All living things in an ecosystem depend on each other. For example, a bee depends on flowers for nectar, and flowers rely on bees for pollination. This complex web of interactions forms the food chain, or more accurately, a food web. Since it's rarely a straight line, life supports life, and that's the beauty of biotic relationships. Abiotic factors, the non-living parts. Now let's focus on abiotic factors. These are the parts of an ecosystem that are not alive, but don't be fooled, they're just as important. Abiotic factors include sunlight, which provides energy for plants, the base of most food chains; water, essential for all forms of life; air, which contains the gases plants and animals need to survive; soil, which holds nutrients plants absorb; temperature, which influences which different organisms can live; climate and wind, which shape the physical environment and affect behavior and survival. Let's say you're growing a plant in your garden. It needs sunlight, good soil, water, and the right temperature. Take away just one of those abiotic factors and the plant can't survive. It's the same even though these parts aren't alive, they control the conditions of life. Interdependence, or working together. Ecosystems rely on a careful balance between biotic and abiotic factors. It's like a chain reaction. Change one part and the effects can ripple across the whole system. Let's imagine a pond during a hot summer. Temperatures rise and the water level drops. That's an abiotic change. As a result, there's less water and less oxygen in the pond. Fish start to struggle, some die. That's a biotic impact. With fewer fish, the birds that feed on them also suffer. Maybe they leave the area, or fewer chicks survive. And just like that, a change in temperature affects plants, animals, and an entire food web. This shows how deeply connected everything is. Ecosystems don't work if parts are missing or out of balance. Whether it's the disappearance of a species or the pollution of air and water, the effects are rarely isolated. They spread. So let's look at some real-world examples. Let's look at a few different ecosystems and how their biotic and abiotic parts come together. In a coral reef, brightly coloured fish, sea turtles, and corals are the biotic parts. The abiotic parts include warm ocean water, sunlight that penetrates the shallow seas, and the salt in the water. Coral reefs depend on stable temperatures. Just a slight rise can lead to coral bleaching, where corals die and the whole ecosystem collapses. In the rainforest, tall trees, monkeys, jaguars, and insects interact with heavy rainfall, high humidity, and rich soil. The constant rain feeds the plants, which feed the animals, but deforestation, removing trees, disturbs both biotic and abiotic balance. And in the Arctic tundra, freezing temperatures, strong winds, and permafrost, frozen ground, shape only specifically adapted animals like polar bears and Arctic foxes can survive the extreme abiotic conditions. No matter where you look, ecosystems depend on harmony between life and the environment. So why does it all matter? Because ecosystems aren't just out there in the wild, they're around us. Your local park, garden, or even a puddle after rain is an ecosystem with living and non-living things interacting. When humans pollute water, cut down forests, or release gases that change the climate, we're changing the abiotic conditions. That puts stress on the living parts, often with serious consequences. But there's good news. We can help by recycling, reducing waste, planting native species, and learning more about nature. You can protect the balance in your local ecosystem. Remember, whether you're a squirrel, a tree, or a student, you're part of the ecosystem too.